I'm sure, sadly, that I've spoken before about my belief that stupidity is a greater enemy than evil. And the problem of stupidity in positions of power is the danger that it can create. And while malevolent actors can often be predictable and self-serving, the truly dangerous individual is the one driven by ignorance, misunderstanding, a desire for acceptance, traits that can be more damaging because they tend to be unfocused. They lead to erratic, reactive, and often impulsive decisions. Nadine Dorries, whose political career has sparked both laughter and dismay, exemplifies just how power coupled with a lack of depth can manifest in ways that are not only irresponsible but deeply harmful. And there's an article today in The Guardian about Nadine Dorries and her alleged obstruction of a statutory inquiry into the mental health deaths in Essex. It's a chilling example of how thoughtlessness combined with political manoeuvring results in tragic outcome. In her attempt to sideline families like Melanie Lair's family, Dorries demonstrated a power that wielded in ignorance that has created additional suffering. Instead of addressing the systemic issues of mental health care, her efforts to pick off grieving families, as reported in her WhatsApp exchanges, reflects a superficial and troubling approach to governance. Dorries's behaviour, if we accept it as rooted in ignorance or desire to align with political superiors, highlights the danger of those in power whose actions are not malicious as such in a calculated sense, but reckless because of a lack of understanding or an absence of empathy. And the unpredictability of such actions, compounded by that drive to be seen as aligned with certain political factions, means that the need to be recognized, the need to be acknowledged, means that their decisions can lead to far-reaching, often unintended consequences. And as Dorries herself claimed in her defense, she fought for an inquiry, but the distinction between an inquiry in name and a meaningful statutory investigation is critical. The loss of years, the potential additional deaths, and the heartbreak of families failed by the system arguably could have been avoided had the original calls for a statutory scrutiny been heeded, been acknowledged. And this is where the power of stupidity becomes so dangerous. Unlike malevolence, it isn't necessarily calculated or even deliberate in its harm, but its consequences are often just as severe, if not worse. To laugh at such figures, as I do at Nadine Dorries, may be cathartic, and I don't think I'm going to stop, even with the severity of this story, but to dismiss them outright underestimates the very real danger that they pose when given authority. I think the role, so as television declines, as theatre declines, so theatre really, what we're left with in theatre are the big musicals and the stage shows, the theatre that can just about survive. We've lost the music hall. We've lost that interactive base in theatre, which was so important, the ephemeral. And we had it for a short while in television. Now it's become formulaic and replaced largely by reality TV. So it falls to social media to stir up that spirit of that was the week that was, that spirit of satire, and to poke fun at the people who have got above themselves. And Nadine Dorries is definitely one of them. And I thought once Nadine Dorries has moved on to other things, along with Matt Hancock, that would be the end of it. But it isn't, of course, because the damage that she did, or the damage that has occurred in her name, that she was alleged to have played a part in, continues. People are still hurt by, not only by what people did because of their stupidity, but also by what they didn't do. You give these power, you give power to these people who are elected to office, and You've got the possibility that they're going to be stupid or that they're going to be indolent, and there's no one else can step in and replace them until they go. And then you realize just how bad, what an opportunity has been missed and is filled by this waste of space. One person who represents everyone in a constituency. One person who has that responsibility. And we saw earlier today, Kemi Badenoch doesn't even answer the mail. I know I've said in the past, Nadine Dorries doesn't bother answering the mail, but it's wrong, isn't it? Isn't it wrong? It's just wrong.